Hey, welcome to Funky's World. I am, as a special request from Nick Nicoluski, talking about the powers of the Barbarian and the Warlord. Okay. They were brought to the NWA by Paul Jones. He had started managing them in another NWA territory, and he was brought to Crockett. They were brought to Crockett Promotions together. Well, initially they weren't together, but when Jones started managing them both, they put them together as a team. And I mean, the Barbarian and the Warlord fit together because they were two big, strong, tough individuals. Paul Jones had been a wrestler like decades ago, and he became a manager once he retired from active competition, and he was a heel manager. And they began a feud with the Road Warriors. Somehow Road Warrior Animal's eye socket got broken, and they said it was during the weightlifting competition when they were attacked by the Powers of Pain. Because they were supposed to be doing a bench press competition with the Powers of Pain. I don't know how it actually happened. I don't know if there was an accident during the ensuing fight, with the weights being there, or if, because it couldn't have happened before. That makes no sense, because his eye sunk back, and his eye socket was busted, so he wouldn't have been there with a busted eye socket. I'm thinking that it happened as an accident during. I still remember that clearly. That I do remember. I've tried to explain to Nick that my memory is terrible. I've literally had to look this up. Because of chemo, my memory is horrible. He had me review 3 different Survivor Series and wanted to know which one was my favorite. I don't remember very well any of them. I'd have to go back and look at the cards and say, okay, which card is the best? And that would bring back memory of some of the matches, some of the feuds, that kind of thing. So it wasn't long after that, the feud didn't last very long, it wasn't long after that they left and entered the World Wrestling Federation. I have no memory of this whatsoever, but apparently they were mercenaries for Tito Santana and Rick Martel when Rick Martel had an injury and Tito brought them in to fight off the evil Demolition or something. It confused me as to why they were baby faces at the pay-per-view I just reviewed. Because I never remember them as baby faces. I guess I do remember Mr. Fuji turning on Demolition and going with the Powers of Pain. And Demolition becoming baby faces, as I just read. I do remember that, but I kind of thought both teams were heels before that anyway. I did not think, I never thought of the Powers of Pain as baby faces. I will tell you something though, a story at the end here. So Mr. Fuji went with the Powers of Pain. Demolition became baby faces, which actually worked for Demolition, I think. Because they didn't really need the manager, because they were both perfectly competent on the microphone. They were both great wrestlers, even though they were big guys. And I don't usually like big guy matches, but Demolition matches usually were good matches. Again, Barry Darsow and Billy Eadie were Demolition, and both very experienced, very competent wrestlers before they ever got together. You know, Crush came along later. When Barry Darsow went back to the NWA for a little while. They had already introduced Crush as the third member of Demolition, and Smashing Crush became Demolition, sort of 2.0. Anyway, so the Powers of Pain, at some point, and I do know this from what I read, Slick was sold the Warlord's contract by Mr. Fuji, who was getting too old to be there. Masa Fuji, which is like Master Fuji, was a manager for many years, and was a wrestler for years and years before that. He recently passed away. He was in his 80s, I do believe. And I think he retired after he sold those contracts. Let's see. Okay. He was born in Hawaii, but was of Japanese descent. He was 82 when he died. His name was Harry Fujiwara. Yeah, just a little bit Japanese. But he came from Hawaii, so that really is a surprise that he's Japanese. His parents probably fled Japan during World War II. That would be my guess. Oh no, because he was born in Hawaii in the 30s. Wait. Huh. Maybe they must have fled the evil regime before that. And ended up in Hawaii. But anyway. So he sold their contracts. And like I said, I believe he retired. So the two were separated. And it's funny, Nick asked me which one I liked better. Neither. Thinking about it though, I'm going to go with Barbarian, and I'll tell you why. Nothing against the Warlord. I'll tell you why in my story at the end of the video. That look was because I was looking at my battery wondering why it wasn't charged. Anyway. So they were changed up a little bit. The Barbarian would come out with like fur. A fur cod piece, which is the piece that covers the male parts. But the cod piece was attached to his tights. And the warlord would come out, with his staff and be the warlord. They kind of expounded on their names when they separated them. I was never a fan of their kind of wrestling, the power wrestling, as I told Nick. That was never my thing. Although they both could move pretty well. I guess they still occasionally wrestle together, but mostly they wrestle separately now. I guess they went to Japan together at one point. BTE, which is Big Time Wrestling, it's wrestling here locally, has had them. They also worked for another local promotion. Well, the Barbarian did, and this goes into my story. For Kowalski's promotion. I think it was Kowalski's. His guys were working it anyway. Not the one that I saw here in town. But this one was a little further away. My friend Flying Brian Walsh was there. Who I met here in town. And we were pen pals for a while. And the Barbarian was there. This particular night, the two, draws were the Barbarian and Virgil. Virgil was a complete and utter jerk. I wanted his autograph. He refused to sign it unless I bought something. He was totally nasty to me. Bought a picture or whatever. He was totally nasty to me. And he was so mad about the whole situation that when he was he came out of the ring, landed ringside in front of my friend and I, and he spat on the floor in front of our feet. He gave us dirty looks. It was like, well, first of all, my friend had nothing to do with it. Second, you're an idiot. I'm never going to forget it. I forgive you. Yeah. It's possible you were having a bad day. That being said, am I going to forget it? No. Am I going to ever support you in any way? No. Aside from the fact that I was literally vomiting over the guardrail that night because I was sick. But you didn't take the time to realize that. You didn't take the time. I mean, these indies that needed the money signed the little autograph book that I made for nothing. I'll never forget the ladies champion, Jamie West. Sweetest girl. Now, like I said, the Barbarian was the other draw. Now, the only problem there was you couldn't get near the Barbarian. Because he took a bunch of little kids in the ring and posed for pictures with them. I didn't see any money exchange there at all. He just was taking pictures with little kids in the ring left and right during the intermission. You couldn't get near him. I wanted to get his autograph, but like I said, you couldn't get near him. He was just a big puppy, a big teddy bear with these kids. And I'll never forget that. And therefore, I would say the Barbarian's my favorite of the two just because I saw him. I know nothing about the Warlord, so I'm not casting aspersions on the Warlord or anything. I don't know him. I just saw with my own eyes the Barbarian with those kids, and I'm telling you, big teddy bear, big puppy dog. And I just thought it was such a wonderful thing. Virgil, hardly nobody went up to him. He didn't sit at the table. He was just kind of off on the side. He didn't do the promotion any favors. He just didn't. And did he make me cry? No. He made me angry. Of quite frankly. But the barbarian made me smile. As sick as I was that night, I don't know why. I was so ill in my stomach that night. Might have been sinuses, because it wasn't during treatment. No, it was after. I would know if I looked at my letter from Brian, but based on the time period, that was Christmas. That letter was Christmas the same year that I met him. We actually exchanged a couple of letters. I don't know why I only kept that one. Like I said, I'd have to look. I think what I'll do is I'll pause you and I'll go back. Okay. I brought it in because this box is pretty full and I'm going to need to tear it down. So, what do I want to keep? What don't I want to keep? That would be the question. That obviously included. Here it is. The date. Pretty sure it's dated. Oh boy. No, it was before. It was 1995. It was the summer into early fall of 95. I thought it was before, but I wasn't sure because I knew it was after we were out of school. So yeah, it was 95. So I'm not sure why I was sick that night to my stomach, but I was. It's funny, I ran outside to vomit and my friend ran out after me. Like I said, I think it was my sinuses draining. So anyway, then car sickness on top of that. So even though I'm not a huge Powers of Pain fan, I was glad that was what he chose because of my experience that night, seeing the barbarian with all the little kids. And it's so funny because he's so big. All these little kids coming up to his knees, maybe the middle of his thighs. It was so cute. And he was so kind with them. And gentle and just, it was awesome. But you couldn't get near him because every little kid in the place was with him. So. But I was happy. And I wanted the kids to have that. So I just sat back down after I went through the line. And Virgil was so mean. And I went through the line at the table and everybody signed my paper. No problem. It's like, Virgil, come on. These kids have nothing. They're just starting out. So anyway. That's the story of the warlord and the barbarian. Thank you for joining me. I hope Nick enjoys this. Well, I hope you all do, but God bless you. Have a wonderful rest of your day. And the next video is going to be genealogy. And I'll see you for that, I hope. I hope that one of the reasons you tune to this particular, I was going to say channel, but yeah, I guess, that you come to my channel is for the genealogy stuff, because it's one of my favorite things that I do here. I feel as a vlog channel you can do, they say don't do a bunch of different things on your channel. Try to be one thing. Well, I am one thing. I'm a vlog channel, and I have playlists for specific topics that I like. And that I want to teach you about, like genealogy, wrestling, stuff like that. And my wrestling ones I know are very popular. Huh. I'll have to check that out. Huh. Can imagine how much that costs. Actually, this might be handy to keep. Anyway, getting ahead of myself. Please have a wonderful rest of your day. God bless you, and I'll see you soon. And all of my last load of laundry, by the way, fit in one load. It's all the donation stuff, all of my sheets, and the rest of my clothes. I am caught up. In 9 minutes, they'll go in the dryer. So, hallelujah. So I'm happy. The daily journal is where I talk about stuff like that. Just sort of what happened after I went off the day before, medical updates, although I have a playlist for that. And I will talk about my eye appointment in the daily journal, but I will do a more thorough go through of it. That will just scratch the surface. I will do a more thorough go through of it in a separate video in my medical playlist. So, where I'll include everything, both eye exams, everything. Once we figure out what the heck is going on. So, which hopefully will be September 5th. We can usually figure that stuff out pretty quickly. Just by looking in the eyes with them dilated. It's a 2-hour exam. I get there, 3 o'clock exam. I'm not even going to be out of the exam until 5. So, yeah, it won't be till the next day. I might make the video the night before, but I won't put it up. Wow. So, again, doesn't have anything to do with wrestling, does have to do with the channel. So, just a few channel notes, I guess, at the end of the video here. God bless you. Have a wonderful rest of your day. I'll see you in a bit. Please remember to subscribe. Please go over to Kid Missing and subscribe over there as well. We have a video going up today. The Kingston John Doe. This is an interesting case. So, I think that's the one. Yeah, that's the one. It's an interesting case. I mean, they're all interesting, but some have more information than others. Um, so please check that out. Please subscribe and hit the bells for both channels. Thank you so much. Bye, guys. Mwah.